Hello everyone and welcome to another video review by Darth Devious. Today I'm going to be taking a look at MP-27 Ironhide. This is something I've been waiting for a very long time, which is an actual Ironhide that looks like he did in the G1 cartoon. And I can't argue with it. This thing is pretty cool. I really like it. Standard Masterpiece box. It's a little bit bigger than the other cars because he is a little bit bigger of a figure, especially in robot mode. See here on the side you got some, he comes with an extra face, different hands and stuff. We'll go over that in robot mode. There's his Nissan Cherry Vanette mode. Back here he's got all this stuff. You know, he's got jetpack, he's got this, all this stuff. We're gonna go over the, what I'm gonna do is, I pretty much looked up the episodes where some of these specific things came from, and I'll go over with them one by one, tell you what episode it was from, and I'll put a still up from the episode showing it. So we'll have fun with this. And he actually does fit in Optimus Prime's trailer, which is amazing considering that he's almost the same height as Optimus. Pretty cool. Angry shouty face. Alright. Enough of the box. I do have to get stuff out of the box later, but enough of the box. We'll bring him in. He rolls really nice. If you can see in there, it has the G1 toy face, and I'll show you that in a minute. I have the G1 toys sitting here. Unfortunately, I cannot find the G1 toys weapons and stuff because I had a box that has most of my G1 parts in it, and I try to keep them all together, and now I can't find that box. So that's kind of upsetting me a little bit, but I'll get over it. But here he is in his Cherry Vanette mode, and he's got nice tail lights done up the right way. He's got nice little tailpipe sticking out, some chrome bumper, windshield wiper back there. Not too much robot junk. I mean, yeah, there is thighs, but really, this is kind of a fairly clean transformation. And on the front, he's got his headlights done in chrome, but they're picked out around the edges. And then you got the turn signals. He's got some fog lights down there. Nice Autobot symbol there, right where it needs to be. He's got windshield wipers. Little door handle here, and then the sliding door handle here. So that's kind of cool that they molded in what would be the sliding door on the van. So he's pretty cool. And he comes with all this. Like I said, we'll go over all this in robot mode, but he comes with this sled. See, there's his extra face there. And we'll go over all this stuff. Here he is with his G1 self. Now, in van mode, the G1 toy was kind of cool. It actually looked a lot like the cartoon. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold. That's why I haven't done any reviews lately, because I've been trying to get my voice back. But, yeah. The van mode here is very similar. Only this is much, much smaller. And, yeah, and if you could see, let's see if I can zoom in. There's the sticker face inside there. That was actually his head. Ratchet had the same thing back in G1. So, of course, they put this in there to reference it, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Yeah. Get that out of here for right now. And to see how he is with like the other Masterpiece cars. See, in van mode he's tall, but he's not super long. So here he is with Blue Streak, and you can see they look good together. They scaled fairly nicely together. So there you go. Alrighty. I'm going to get him into his robot mode, and we'll go over all the other stuff. So I'll be right back. Alright, and here we have Big Red Ironhide in his robot mode. And I gotta tell you, I really love this guy. This is really, Really cool. You gotta understand, in the G1 cartoon, Ratchet and Ironhide had those van modes, but their robot modes were pretty much generic Cybertronian, boxy robot modes. They were both really old, so their robot designs harken back to some of the earlier designs of Transformers. So, to get this boxy robot mode out of that van is amazing. Because the G1 toy couldn't do it. The Classics toy we got a few years ago was just a panel lining mess and didn't look anything like them. Nothing else has even come close. Yet, all I hear about this toy is complaining. And the biggest complaint is right here. I'm going to address this. These are not a big deal. They're small. When you consider how big he is as a robot, they're small. Look how clean his transformation is. Look at this. There's like almost no kibble on this guy. That's amazing. Some of the other Masterpiece figures couldn't do that. How come he's getting all the anger? He's a very well done Masterpiece figure. And considering everything he comes with, it's insane that people are complaining. You keep complaining, you're just not going to get. They did the best they could. One complaint I hear is his head's not the right shape. Have you watched the G1 cartoon? I'm going to put a graphic up here. It shows different instances of Ratchet and Ironhide's heads. And if you look at the picture, you can see that it was never consistent. This is pretty damn close, in my opinion. And this guy's really cool. Hip kibble. You guys want to talk about hip kibble? These guys always got those panels on his hips. He has half a freaking jet hanging off his hips. I mean, seriously, look at this. You can hide him, put him all the way back like this. Now he's got half a jet hanging off his ass. You fans are starting to get a little elitist, I think. Just a little bit. Just, you know, you want things to be 100% the way you want them. It's not going to happen. At all. They did a pretty damn good job with him. And if your biggest problem is these little tiny panels hanging off, grow up. Because I've had enough. Had enough of hearing about all these complaints about little things on figures. No figure is going to be 100% perfect. You have to realize they have to function as a transforming toy. Alright. Stop ranting. Let's get back to reviewing this guy. Alright. We're going to bring in all his accessories and go over where each one came from. Give me 1 second here. I need to get something out of his box that I forgot to do. Da 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 da. All right. First up, some of these are reference to the G1 toy. Now, I'm going to bring in the G1 toy. Now, like I said, I can't find my parts for the G1 toy. This would have made it so much easier to explain. On the G1 toy, as you can see, you got the missile launcher, which is what this is. This also has another purpose from an episode. But this was the main weapon for the G1 toy. There's a smaller version that goes there. And then this, it looks like a regular nozzle that goes onto his arm, and you can use it for that, but this is not episode specific. What this references is, there's a red plug that goes here, and then the original gun would plug into that. And that's how that would be on there. And that's what these two pieces represent from the G1 toy. I wish I could find that box of parts. I tore this basement apart looking for it. I have no idea what I did with it. And yeah, these weapons can plug in into his van mode. I didn't show it, but yeah, there's there's a little plug in there that's spring loaded. This one actually, if I plug it in, it actually launches out because the spring's a little too powerful. The smaller handguns fit in there fine. Anyway, but yeah, that's what this is in reference to. It would have been something like this in G1. Just imagine that, and then boop, it plugs in right there, and that's that. I also don't, because I don't have my box of parts, I don't have his missile either. He can't store any of the stuff in here. There's just no room. And you know, complaining about the robot mode. This was the robot mode for G1. Keep this in mind. Alright, let's get that old one out of here. So that explains these two pieces. Now this, as it can come off. Let's raise the camera up here so we can see what we're doing. You can plug this on his back and put this like this. And then when you have it like this, there was an episode of G1. In fact, it was the third episode of the original miniseries, More Than Meets the Eye. More Than Meets the Eye Part 3, he flew and went after the Decepticons like this. I think Prowl was with him. There's a picture. I'll put the picture up somewhere here. Bing. Alright. So that's what that's in reference to. Get that one down. The jetpack comes from the episode The Immobilizer, where Wheeljack created this thing called the Immobilizer, which would stop anything in its path. And he, towards the end, Ironhide jumps out of Skyfire, and when he does, he uses this to land, which I have a still shot for you, Bing. And that's what that's in reference to. Next, we have these nozzles here. Now, these nozzles, Ironhide, one of his powers was he could use different liquids and shoot them from his arms. In the episode Desertion of the Dinobots, the first part, he and Power Glide and Grapple were fixing a bunker or a hangar at an airport, and he shot concrete out of this, or mortar I should say, to put the bricks together. He would shoot a line of mortar, Power Glide would drop a line of bricks, and that's how they built the building. And again, I'll have a picture, and it's a picture of his hand, this coming out of his arm, just like this, somewhere around here. So that's the episode Desertion of the Dinobots Part 1. It was a 2-part episode. So that's where that comes from. See, isn't this fun? Now, next we have these hands. I'll keep his arm like that. These hands with the nozzle shooters on them. See if I can zoom in so you can see them a little better. This comes from the episode The Search for Alpha Trion, where they went to Cybertron and they were looking for Alpha Trion. He was missing, but they came across a bunch of female Autobots. Chromia, Firestar, Alita 1, I think. Maybe one other one, I can't remember her name. And he used this. Now there's a picture of that too. Bing. So we'll get his hands back out. Da, 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 da. Ironhide is cool. Now the last one is where this piece of cardboard comes in. And the antenna. What you do is just open this up. And we're going to slide this in as best we can. Bring this back up. See, he's got a readout on his chest. And here's the scanner. And if we pull up the picture, bing, bing, bing. Oof, as I hit the camera. Let's try it again. Bing, bing, bing. Anyway. That is when they the episode SOS Dinobots, when they first found the dinosaur bones inside of Mount St. Hilary where the Ark was. This is the bones of a Triceratops, which would become Slag eventually. So you can see that there. So that's pretty much all the references to specific episodes that everything on here represents, or to G1, you could say, like the red things. And you can use these red ones as nozzles on his hands. They do have the same connector on the back. But yeah. But that is basically everything else. Now his regular handguns, he comes with 2, which actually references his death scene in Transformers the movie. He had 2 guns like this, and yeah. He also used handguns like this throughout most of the series. He did use this, I think, once or twice in the show. I couldn't remember a specific episode, forgive me. But these can be a pain to get in. You want to kind of be careful. You want to just take your time putting them in there. They're supposed to go into slots all the way in the back, and sometimes that's easier said than done, and people have actually broken the thumbs. So yeah, once you get it back there, he holds it nice and secure. Leaking lubricants. I'm sick of all these Decepticreeps. Every time I look into a monitor prime, my circuits sizzle. Yeah, Ironhide. His face, we'll get out his extra face here, his shouty face. I actually like his shouty face. As you can see here, there's his shouty face. We'll come up and we'll look at his other face. He's still grumpy, but they made it where there's this little thing in the back. If you push that forward, it takes the one face off, and then you just push the other one in. Boom. And now we have shouty face Ironhide. But Prime! So yeah. Going over his articulation, his head has a lot of movement to it. Nice ball jointed head. Shoulders are a little weird because they'll only go that far forward when they're straight on, but if you do this, you can rotate them and you can make use of his other joints to do other stuff. That's one small gripe I have, is that shoulder bit, but there are ways around it, so it's not even that big of a deal. You see, he's got rotation there. He's got a nice 90-degree elbow. His wrists rotate, his fingers open. Waist nice and smooth. The skirts here in the front get out of the way for his legs. His legs go forward that much, they go back that much. They go out. Even with the hip kibble in the way, they still go out. He's got a nice rotation here and here, so he's got 2 rotations. One just above the knee and one at the thigh. He's got a nice 90-degree knee. And then he's got a nice bit of ankle pivot forward and back a little bit, and then tilt. So you can get some nice Ironhide poses out of him. Why are you Decepticreeps? I'll get you! Really cool. They did a good job with him. I don't care what anybody says. I think they did a great job with him. We'll bring in some of his G1 buddies here so we can compare his size. And here's little bitty Bumblebee. Bumblebee only doesn't even barely come up to his waist, so there you go. Bumblebee's tiny. Here's Side Swipe. Bring in Mirage. It's not Mirage. It's Mirage to me. Kiss my butt. And you see, he remember, in van mode, he was actually a little bit shorter than Blue Streak here. He was taller, but a little bit shorter. Look how much bigger he is in robot mode. That is amazing. That is amazing. We'll bring in Hound here. You can see how he scales with Hound. And of course, Optimus Prime back there. And this is where I think his scale is really good, because Prime's supposed to be bigger than him, but not by much. Prime's only about a head taller than him. Again, I really like this guy. I think they did a great job. You guys say what you want. If hip kibble is going to be the biggest problem you have with this, you need to get over yourself. There are worse Transformers out there. There really are. This is actually a really, really good one. In hand, he is awesome. I heard people complain about his barrel chest. Have you seen G1? He's supposed to have that. Anyway. So there you go. Masterpiece Ironhide. He's awesome. You need him in your life if you're a fan of G1 and you're a fan of the Masterpiece line. You guys be good, or he's going to shoot some sulfuric acid out of his fingers. Later.